Hello, 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 everybody. We're doing a later version of Shine the Light for a very special person, a lady that I've known since I've been in ONPASSIVE about. I believe she's been in about the same amount of time as I have. Wonderful lady, always helping people, very upbeat. In fact, we had her sister on. When did we have her on? Friday?
Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday,
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah. I forget what day it is. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Chris to introduce her properly, and we're going to let this thing fly.
Thank you, Marty DeGarmo. I love you, brother. I hope you're feeling better. I have a few nice words to say about this lady. I've known her for quite a while. Her and you met her sister the other day. She's the more, like I said, she's the one that's going to get on a roller coaster and ride. She's absolutely beautiful. She's very funny. She's straightforward. And just like her sister, she's nothing but class. And I'm going to bring on Miss Gemma Ramikie. Turn that camera on, lady. And it's all about you.
Now mute yourself, Chris, so they don't skip back to us.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Marty and Chris. Thank you for having me on today. My name is Gemma Ramikie, and I migrated from Trinidad and Tobago in 1972 to Toronto, Ontario. I lived there for a little while with my brother, and then I decided, as growing up at home, everyone at home called me Hotfoot. So I decided I want to see a bit of Canada, and I could not afford it. I wasn't working. So I joined a magazine company, McLean Hunter, and I traveled all through the east coast of Canada, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, with the company. And then I got a call from my dad, and he told me that Lystra and my brother George was coming to Canada, and I had to come back to Toronto, get a place for them to live, and live with them. Of course, my dad, I had to obey him. So I came back to Toronto. We got a 2-bedroom apartment, and we all lived together for a while. But then I got a job with a bank for about 7 years or 9 years in Toronto. And then I decided I couldn't stay put. So I took a transfer with the bank to Calgary, Alberta. And this was where I reside now. The very first Saturday I came into Calgary, the girl I was rooming with took me to a Jamaican party. And I met my husband there. Well, lo and behold, he would not leave me alone. He was at my door almost every single day. On the weekends, he'd come and drive me to work at the bank. And then finally, in the following year, in 1982, we decided to get married. So we ended up having 2 kids, a boy and a girl. And then we ended up having 2 wonderful grandkids. In my siblings and I have always maintained a very strong bond. When my son Ryan was born in 1982, my sister Janet, who had just migrated from the UK to Canada, came to Calgary and spent a month with me to help me look after the baby. And then a couple of years afterwards, I had macular degeneration, and Lystra came, and she spent 3 weeks with me. When I had my last operation, it was during the pandemic, but I did not want them to get on an airplane. I had my daughter here. She was old enough, and she helped me and my friend who is a nurse. So I did pretty good. I didn't need them at that time. But just want to let you guys know that we've been so close, and we are still the same way today. We get along really, really well. And one of the things I love to do is sports. I play basketball. I play ping pong, which is table tennis. I play bowling. I go bowling. I do golf. I'm always on the outside doing something like that. Then I hurt my ankle and I couldn't do very much, but I still try to go bowling once in a while. The only 2 sports I do not look at is wrestling and boxing. Those 2 I don't like. I even look at darts. I look at all the sports on TV, and I'm a very, very avid sports fan. But now, going back to ONPASSIVE, my sister Lystra introduced me to ONPASSIVE in January 2020. I wasn't so keen at the time because I just came off Enrich International, which was vitamins I was selling. I just became a manager selling vitamins, but I was not making any money as everyone else. I paid $60 every single month to stay in the company, which came off my Visa card. But I was not making that $60 a month to cover my Visa card. So I decided this is not going to work. And this was the 11th, I think, or the 10th MLM I had joined and not making any money, just spending money. So when Lystra told me about ONPASSIVE, I thought, I have to think about this. No, I just kind of wasn't interested at the time. So she told me about it. I think I was on the 25th when she joined, no, the 20th and of January 2020. And I decided, okay, it's my sister. She never steered me wrong. We always do stuff together. So I will. So I joined on the 25th, 5 days later after she told me. But I never looked at the videos and anything as yet, because I was going through some medical stuff and I had to be back and forth to the hospital. So I didn't spend too much time online. Plus, I'm not very good at computers. Anyhow, Obless came on one day and Chris was on Obless, and then Ash came on. And I listened to him for a bit. And then I went on a Caribbean webinar and I listened to Elmira. And Ash was on that one. And I decided after listening to him, this is the first person that I have met as a CEO who comes and talk to us. You know, it was so amazing to listen to him, what he wanted to do, and the whole bit about ONPASSIVE, which I basically was doing the same thing. I just come back from India in 2019 because it started in 2020. Then I went back to India in 2022. I've been to Jamaica, and my husband and I have been helping a lot of charities worldwide. He had gone to Africa to do some stuff too. And I thought, from what Obless can offer, maybe I can do this on a bigger scale where I can help more people. Because when we went to those places, a lot of the money came out of our pockets. We got some, but not enough. So after a while, we thought, okay, we stay a bit, save some money, and then start doing this thing all over again. But going back to why I was interested in that was because of my mother. My mother passed away when I was 2.5, as Lystra mentioned. She was younger than I was. And my dad brought us up. And I remember my neighbor telling me my mom would go to the market and she'd walk up the street. I think Ivy Mix had the same scenario too. And before she got back to our house, the basket would be almost empty. There was someone along the road who needed more than we did, right? So that happened, and I decided I never wanted to not have a mother, which I didn't until I was older, which didn't work out so good for me because we grew up in a society where you do not talk to your parents in a sense. You're not supposed to say anything. You're supposed to go along with everything they say. So it's very difficult. And I decided that when I had my kids, there was no way I was going to bring them up the way I was brought up. They had to be free to make their choices. They can do anything basically within reason. We can discuss it. And that's what we did. And my kids turned out to be really, really good. When they were 18, they both wanted to go backpack through Europe. And their father said no, they would come back and not go to university, which we wanted them to have that piece of paper. We didn't care what they did with it afterwards. You can go sweep the streets, that was okay. But education was so important. So I made them sign something saying, okay, we will come back and go to university. So Ryan went 2 years before Rochelle, and they both came back after 3 months and they went to school. My son is in HR, fires and hire people all the time. I can't remember his title. And my daughter is a financial analyst. So they turned out pretty good. But I never really wanted them to not think for themselves. I wanted them to do things for themselves, decide what they wanted to do. But the university was that education was very important. As I said, I didn't care what they did afterwards, but they had to go to school, which they did. But the thing is now, ONPASSIVE, going back to ONPASSIVE, when I realized what I could do with ONPASSIVE, and then listen to Ash and listen to MARTY and Chris, which they've been so helpful to me and helped me along the way to navigate the computers, help me with my accounts and everything else, I realized there's no company in the world as this one. There's no CEO in the world as Mr. Ash Mufarro, who would get on the webinars, talk to us, tell us what he's doing, how he's doing it. If he run into a snag, he explained what's happening. He doesn't stay in the background and say, okay, let the leaders tell us what's happening. No, he's a really hands-on person. And I really, really appreciate that. I'm hoping one day I will meet him. Hopefully, I may live long enough to meet him, who knows? And so I'm hoping, as I said, going forward with Obless and Chris, if Chris would let me, and take it from there. But I just love it. It's I meet all these people from over the world. I went to Manchester. I met Red and Jane. I went to the States. I met Susan, and another lady. I can't think of her name right now, but it's really nice going to different meet and greet. We had 2 of them in Calgary with Engineer Mike and Diane Lennon and stuff, and it was really fantastic. And look at all the people that I've met all over the world. I keep saying to myself, this only cost me $97 to meet all those thousands of people that I can call my friend, I can call my family, and I'm so blessed. Thank you very much, Maddie and Chris. I really appreciate you guys having me on again, and God bless everyone. Thank you.
I got to unmute myself before I start talking. Very good, Gemma. I didn't know you were in the sports like that.
Oh, I am.
No, I don't think I've ever talked to you about that. I didn't know, but
okay.
I used to be I loved ping pong, or table tennis, or you call it. I was a kid. I played it all the time, outside and inside. So,
I'm a very good player. I'm a very good player. I beat the bank manager because we did a lot of sports with the bank, and he was really upset. He wanted a rematch. He couldn't believe that I beat him in ping pong.
I love ping pong. I used to play every day.
Yeah,
every day.
Favorite things, yeah.
One thing that caught you said your mom, when she come home from market, the basket would be pretty much empty because she went along the way and seen people that needed more. I mean, that's a great thing. That was a great thing to hear. I know that's what you never need to ask my permission for Obless. You already know you're an angel. And I know that you've continued your life doing the same things. Like you said, we don't always agree with our parents. I got a kid that tells me I'm wrong every day, but that was a great story, Gemma. You did really, really good. You were to the point. Like I said, you were forward. I love it. I absolutely loved it. Marty?
Gemma, you did fantastic. You're going to relate to a lot of people. You covered everything. You did a fantastic job. No
just
doubt
ping
about
pong.
it.
Just the ping pong. You connected
with
a million people.
Yeah,
I didn't know how much you like sports.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you a story. We were raising money for big brothers and big sisters at the bank, and we had bowling sessions to play bowling because it was a volunteer. You had to give the money to the big brother, big sister. You had to pay $60 to play. So every time I would play maybe 3 or 4 games a week because I loved it. And then the reporter was there, and I was just practicing down the alley. And then I had a strike. Then I had another strike, one after the other. So the guy came up to the reporter guy and he said to me, Gemma, he didn't know my name. He said to me, if you can do that one more time, you win the trip to Vegas. I sent the ball down the lane. 10 pins we were playing, 9 pins fell and 1 stood. 1. So my manager said to me, he didn't like me anymore because he was on my team and we would have gotten for 4 of us a trip to Vegas. So I got teased out of the bank for years, but I just love bowling.
Yeah. I haven't bowled in so long. Yeah, that's a long time.
I don't know if I can bend a bowl anymore. I'm not so flexible anymore.
No, at my age, I try to be flexible. I go to the gym and I do a little bit of yoga.
Now, you are, let's see, Listra's younger sister. Isn't that correct?
No, I'm the older sister. You see all the marks?
Come on, we want to get Listra a little jazz in there.
Yeah, I know. Listra be fired up.
The funny thing is, she looks after me, and I'm the older one.
Right now, she's saying, Chris.
I'm sure she is.
Well, Gemma, we appreciate it. Thanks for working with my schedule. I'm appreciative of it because my time is really goofy in the mornings now. But thank you for coming in at 6. To everyone out there, there's a good chance that we might be doing this off and on at 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock. And before I let Gemma go, I want to announce some prayers needed out there. I know most of you remember Cindy Hopkins. She's going through some illnesses right now. I had many people reach out to me about praying. Pray. We have a lot of people that are going through health issues in ONPASSIVE. If you remember, Cindy was one of the early birds. She was the big speaker on all our big main webinars back in the day, and she did one great job. So, Cindy, we're praying for you. We got the entire ONPASSIVE family praying for you. Ash Mafara told me, and I sent a message. You should have got it. That
Yeah.
you've been down this road before. You came out great. We're expecting that again. So keep up your. Just do what you do because I know you're a strong lady. Gemma, we love
One
you.
more thing. I
Oh,
wanted
go.
to thank Mr. Ash and his family for all that they do for all of us. I forgot him. He's the most important guy out there. He
Yeah,
does
you're
so
right.
much for us. And we
Yeah, who's
appreciate
this Ash guy you keep talking about?
Yeah, who are
my
you
brother.
talking about?
He's brown
Hey,
like I am. He's my brother.
hey,
He's your-
Chris,
what?
talk about tomorrow, the different time.
Oh, so tomorrow, boy, this is a switch, Marty. I'm usually reminding you all this stuff. So tomorrow we've got Vavine Benny, which we call VB. She is coming on at 8 our time, 8 o'clock in the morning, her time, 8 o'clock at night, because she's in Australia. She is a Papua New Guinean born. So we're trying to do magic with some people to get them on with different times. So 8 a.m. It will be recorded, just like Marty. Did you record this? Okay, just like this one, it's gonna be recorded. If a lot of people say, Chris, that's awfully early for me, it's recorded. Watch it at your leisure. That's why we record it.
It's
But
on it's on many YouTube channels also. So
yeah,
it's
so. But Gemma,
all right,
you look beautiful. Thank you for coming on.
Gemma,
Thank
you
you.
did fantastic. You really
Love
did.
both of you. Thank you very much.
I'm so glad you came.
Gemma's my favorite one I can mess with because she gives it right back to me. That's why I love her.
Take care, guys. Have a good evening. Good
Say
evening,
goodbye, everybody. You did very good, Gemma.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.